stand tall. Words of blades that never fall. Debate like warriors brave. Every thought we give and save. In the ring we stand tall. Words of blades that never fall. Debate like warriors brave. Every thought we give and save. Through the noise we cut clean. Spirited, mind sharp and keen. With a spark that lights the night. Join us in this epic fight. Welcome to the Spartan Arena, where minds clash and thoughts clean. In the heat of every word, truth and insight will be heard. Buckle up and take your stance. In this arena, there's no chance to escape the fight by law. Dive in deep and search for more. From heartfelt talks to fierce debates, we explore what fate creates. Side by side we seek the light. In the dark our minds ignite. Welcome talks to fierce debates, we explore what fate creates. Side by side we seek the light. In the dark our minds ignite. Welcome to the Spartan Arena, where minds clash and thoughts clean. In the heat of every word, truth and insight will be heard. Buckle up and take your stance. In this arena, there's no chance to escape the fight by law. Dive in deep and search for more. In the ring we stand tall. Words are blades that never fall. Debate like warriors brave. Every thought we give and save. Through the noise we cut clean. Spirited minds sharp and keen. With a spark that lights the night. Join us in this epic fight. Welcome to the Spartan Arena, where minds clash and thoughts gleam. In the heat of every word, truth and insight will be heard. Buckle up and take your stance. In this arena there's no chance to escape the vibrant lore. Dive in deep and search for more. From heartfelt talks to fierce debates, we explore what fate creates. Side by side we seek the light. In the dark our minds ignite. Welcome to the Spartan Arena, where minds clash and thoughts gleam. In the heat of every word, truth and insight will be heard. Heard. Will be heard. Will be heard.
Spartans! What is your profession?
What is going on, everybody? We're back at it, another stream, another live. You know where you're at. You're at Spartan SU Network, the show of shows, the stream of streams. Yes, another night. And this is going to be a motivational episode. I'm very looking forward to this conversation, and I'm excited to have this conversation. First of all, how was everybody's Thanksgiving? Hopefully, it was better than mine. I was sick in bed. Worst time to spend the holidays, trust me, that one. But the question we have tonight is it anybody that inspires you? Is anybody that pushes you? Anybody that motivates you? That is the question of the night. Personal, yes, I do have some role models up there that I look up to that motivate me. And if he's watching, hopefully he is. Maybe he's watching on the replay. One of the persons that motivates me is a good friend of mine, CQ, from Pop Culture Warrior. He's been a good friend of mine for years, and he knows to say the right things when I need to hear it, when I'm down, when I'm up, or whatever the case is. So it's a question that needs to be answered. But how does the person motivate you? The question is, how do they push you? How do they influence your life? How do they change your life? Besides, CQ, I do have some celebrities that I look up to also that motivate me, that make me think I can do something different in my life. Those saying from Rocky that life hits hard and it's always going to hit hard, but it's up to you to move up, get up, and keep moving. I know I'm not paraphrasing, guys, so don't quote me on that. So it's something that motivates me. Pushing hard, pushing every day. So what pushes you every single day? It's something that we need. Absolutely, at every time. It's something that we always need in life. I know I'm repeating myself, but I need you to hear that. Motivation comes in every shape, way, or form. All right, let's get this person here. She's been gone for a while. Let's get her ass in here. Let's see what kind of theme song I'm going to use for her. Let's get her in here. Where, stranger? Welcome back. You're muted. You're muted.
Hello, it's good to be back.
How you been? How you feeling?
I'm feeling much better. My treatments are working, and
That's good.
finally the side effects are going away.
Okay,
So,
that's good.
good to have some energy back and get back to living life.
Well, that's a plus. So, how's the holidays? Give us a little update. How was going on everything? Just give us a little quick update how everything's going on with you first before we get into it.
Yeah, so I had to switch to another new treatment for the cancer, and that put me out a couple weeks because I had to get adjusted to all the side effects and everything. So I basically have been sick for a couple weeks, but now I'm on a new medication to help offset the side effects and getting back to being energized to get out, live life,
Being a
just
pain in the ass
normal
again?
living again. What was that?
Being a pain in the ass again, I guess.
Yep. Yeah. So I'm back to all that.
Oh Christ, I had some peace and quiet for a while.
So I've definitely got to get back to that.
All right. So we're talking about motivation today. The topic is, in my case, men, but in your case, women, or either way, it's fine. that inspire you, stories that motivate you.
Right. To I
And
know
yes,
that
you can use your dad also. I know you're going to ask that question at some point. I know you by now.
no, actually I was gonna ask, are we just talking about celebrities or are we talking about anybody?
Anybody.
Anybody. Yes. Well, of course my number one would be my father. Because
Okay.
he just taught me everything from growing up to even where I am at now. I mean, he was always the go-getter, the don't give up on life. Um, he still stops at my house every day. Come on, get up, get up, get up, get up. Those are his famous words.
Mhm.
Get up and move, get up and move. And that's one thing I've learned from him is if you want to do things in life or if you want to accomplish a thing, anything in life, you can't just sit back. So I've always looked up to him for that. And even though he can be a pain in my ass,
I see where you
and
get it from now.
what was that?
I see where you get it from.
Yeah, he can be a pain in my ass, and sometimes I just want to tell him go away. But I know that he's doing everything that he's learned in life, and what keeps him going at the age of 70.
That's really 70. I thought he was younger than that, actually.
No, he actually will be. He's not 70 yet. He'll be 70 in February.
Okay. So obviously, you see that build, excuse me, build everything from scratch, from nothing, right?
Yes.
So what did that teach you in life?
Um, Basically, it taught me like no matter what level you're at in life, like you can still build yourself up from the ground to up where you are now. Like I was just thinking about this today. Like I remember days where he didn't have a good car. I myself and my sister would get out and his car would stall all the time when we were young. And now like so we would get out and have to push him. Have to all three of us push the car to get it to go again.
Mm.
And I still remember that like it was yesterday. And now I just look at it like now I look at where he is now in life. You know, there's no more pushing cars, but that's because he didn't sit around. Again, he was up and moving, up and working, up and doing whatever it took to make sure that he got the life that he wanted to have. If he just sat around, he would be in the same position. And that's one thing I'm learning. If I just sit around, if I don't do anything for myself right now, especially being sick, I'm not going to do anything with my life for the next couple of years.
So let me ask you
So
this
when,
question. Let's switch gears for a little bit here. Do you have anybody that influenced you in your life, except your father?
he's my number one, but when I was reading about our topic tonight, there's two people that really stick out to me that are struggling in life. Two celebrities that have their own struggles in life right now that always like stuck to me like wow, look at them go. One is Bruce Willis,
Mm-hmm.
who is suffering through early stages of dementia and all that right now. Um like just how he keeps going, and even though he's suffering right now, he just isn't giving up, you know. So those kinds of things always get to me. Another one is Michael J. Fox, who you still see today in shows, he's on special shows, still living with the Parkinson's, but you see him going. Like those really get to me. People that have stuff going on in their life, but still keep up and get up and go. That's who I really look to is like not just anybody, but people who go through anything in life. And you still get up and go. Because believe me, there's times where I don't want to get up and go.
It's
And
funny
I
you
have
mentioned those two guys because Bruce Willis was a incredible fucking actor. I think
yeah,
most of us can agree with that from the chats and from you and the guys coming in. He created Die Hard, one of the best movies. Some people think it's a Christmas music movie. Some people don't. That's a different argument for a different
I
show.
know. I hate when it's on as a Christmas movie.
But technically, it is a Christmas music movie.
I don't know.
All right, let's get the next person here and let me get her theme song ready. Let's
Okay.
welcome our little bitty witch doctor.
Okay.
Mariana, what's going on?
Nothing much. Just trying to stay warm. It's so frigidly cold outside.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God.
It always could be worse. You know, you could be in the South Pole
Yeah. True.
or the North Pole or whatever. You give you Santa's little helper
Yeah.
trying to build his little toys. Okay, so who
Okay,
inspires you? Who motivates you, Mariana?
Who motivates me and who inspires me?
Mm-hmm.
I will say my parents. A lot of, growing up, how they tell you, a little pep talk, especially for my father, how I see him, how he works, and always give me advice. And, I kind of regret I should listen to him. Certain things like he will tell me something just to look out for. Uh, Also, he always will tell me, do not let somebody put you down, like to lift you up. And my mom, before she passed on, she gave me some words of, inspiration, telling me, don't let somebody, knock you down or whatever the case is. No, nobody's better than you. And anyone say something, just ignore, just don't let it get to you. So I will say my parents, they motivate me. So
So, what about a celebrity who motivates you or inspires you?
celebrity, um, trying to think of a celebrity. Lord, I will say more like the songs. I will say Kelly Clarkson. What kills you makes you stronger. I'm sorry. I had to go. I'm sorry. It sounds maybe corny, but I will say that's kind of motivated, like in a way. Like when you go through struggles, that
Mm-hmm.
song kind of helped me to persevere. So in order to get through it, I don't need like something songs
I
that
agree.
doesn't really, lift you up. You need something to lift you up. When you feel down, you need something to lift you up. If you're going through a story that's lifting. I mean, you don't hear songs that lifts.
You're right.
So
Yes, I agree with you.
Actually, believe it or not, there are a lot more songs that lift you. You just gotta find them. They're hard to find.
yeah, it is hard to find. I
Think about
mean,
it. Yeah.
yeah.
Well, there is one
Um,
quote I want to use tonight that I want you guys to listen very carefully before I say anything. The quote I have is the pride comes before the fall.
mhm.
Hmm.
Why do I say that? I'll let you guys answer that first.
Hmm. The
I'll let you can go
pride comes before the fall. Mm. What is that? Wait, what was your question about it?
What's your opinion behind that quote?
I'm just trying to. So the pride comes before the fall. I don't know. I never thought of it that way. So, um, does it? Now that I'm thinking about it, it does. So your
Does it?
pride will come before you the fall.
Is it? That's a question for you, not for me.
I don't know. I'm kind of confused on it. Like, I don't know if my pride would come before the fall. Like what about anybody that's like, especially if you're down on yourself? Like,
All right,
how
I'll
do
come
I get?
back to you in a minute, Mariana. I mean, Alicia. Mariana, you're up.
Well, having pride before the fall, I will say having too much of it in a way, like if you could be prideful and have everything, but then all of a sudden it kind of um you end up going down. I mean,
Mhm.
I will say I think it says somewhere in the Bible, say too much pride could lead you to shame, if I recall. Like having this, like almost pride is also equal to being conceited in a way.
Mm-hmm.
Being prideful, like you have this, oh, I have that, oh, I don't need to wear non-name brand, like you could be so prideful, like you could be also, somebody could be also so full of it. Like, oh, I got this many years of experience, I have this many years of expertise. That's like very prideful to me. And then
Okay,
you
so
realize, yeah.
what I was looking for more was when you're down on your ground, on your luck, whatever, but you're too
Hmm.
proud to
Hmm.
ask for help. You're too proud
Mm.
to say, "Hey,
Okay.
I need help."
Okay.
You
Uh-huh.
both know me on a personal level at different times. Outside,
Hmm.
before the whole YouTube, before the Spartan SQ network, before all this,
Hmm.
and guys, I'm guilty of this as
Hmm.
as most guilty people can be. I'm too proud to ask for help sometimes. Can you guys agree on that,
Yes.
Mariana?
Yeah.
But I realized in the last several years, if I don't ask for help, I
Hmm.
cannot get anywhere in life. It's nothing
Yeah.
Right.
wrong asking help.
Yeah, there's
But in
nothing
the same
wrong.
token, that is a way of me motivating myself for asking for help.
Hmm.
All right, guys, let's get the next guy in here. Our little friend Groot is in the house. David, just smile for once, please. For once in your life, smile.
What is my name? Black
I
David.
can't hear you, dude.
My name's a Black David Bearpaw, right? I'm not even a
Would you-
goat.
On
Unless
the
I
show, you're Groot.
un- unless I break somebody, they'll say, "Oh, he is no good. That's a bear right there." Hey.
So,
In my
David,
neighborhood, they don't look at me as a goat. They know me as one thing. Oh, you pick this door up, he will break you. Goot don't do that.
sure, whatever you say, buddy.
Uh,
So, tell me, men who inspire you, stories that motivate you. Floor is yours, my man.
Man who inspire me or story that motivate me. I know about men who life conduct motivate me or it show me a sense of discipline. Inspire, I can't really say. But one of them was actually a journalist. And that's what I've been saying many times, many platforms, because they're referring to my uncle back in my country, Nigeria. If people understand journalism, real journalism, not the fake bullshit that you see out here in the United States. You talk about a journalist who's risking his own life to put out article to report a truth about a particular government where more than likely in those countries they like to eliminate journalists who snitching on them. Knowing that you're taking that kind of risk to report the truth. He was working for a newspaper company that got shut down by military rule that was running the country at that time. And they never came back ever since then. There were certain newspapers that were considered to be very respectable newspaper companies because they had people who went to risk their life to report the news as they see it, as it's being reported, take the note, take the picture, make sure the editor double check before they put the paper out. And I had followed him because of what I learned from our old journalists from the United States. This is Peter Jennings and Ted Koppel. I mentioned those two names because one, I use them as a standard to compare all the up and coming or the present so-called journalists we have in today's airwave, and they're nowhere near to their shoe shop they have on their shoe, which is full of crap. My uncle showed me what I've seen firsthand, what it's like to be a journalist taking that path. So he was the first one I have respect for. I had another uncle who got me into weightlifting. He was more like a big brother to me than a mentor. But when I heard what happened to him when I came back to the U.S. a couple years later, it kind of like it was a massive blow to me. But it created a personality that I keep hidden for a reason. Because I hate it when I lose people who are dear to me, who are like a big brother or like an uncle, like a father figure. And when that happens, and I'm around certain people who are nowhere near that standard, I kind of predator look. That I want to knock somebody out if they're around me. That's the honest truth. Because I've been around men who are real standard bearing men. They're not simps. They're not punks. They stick to their protocol. They stick to their standard. They stick to their belief. They never waver to the left nor the right, regardless of the situation, even though it will cost them their life, and they stick to it to the day they die. And those kind of men are the one that it didn't inspire me. It showed me a level of clarity that I can't be like the people claim that they are if they don't have a moral compass or central protocol they will stick by or they took an oath. I don't have so many of them. It's only a very small number, like less than 10. Because when you're around certain people, you watch how they live their life, you watch how they conduct themselves, you pay close attention to every small detail. That's the kind of person I am, especially my career being in the IT field. I realized those kind of men, they're hard to find in today's society. That's why I say shout out to Mr. Paul Bennett, shout out to Cofer. They're the latest one that I can say that's still existing because they stay consistent. But finding the kind of men that, where you take the title, who inspires, or that motivate, I don't think it inspire. It's more something bigger than inspired. It's something that it galvanates you, something that it make you want to look at yourself. I think that's the kind of example I want to compare myself and or use as a measuring stick. Because I've seen, even though today I was busy, I listened to a lot of podcasts when I work. I listened to a lot of conversation. I like to listen to keyword or not as keyword alone, phrases, statement being made, and I analyze it. Now I ask myself this question: what are the real standards that people are building themselves based on? What example are they following? Are the example they're following that is superficial, is not realistic, or the example they're following that you can see through test of time that it has built world quality men? Shout out to Shaq Q&A that I'm referring to because he said his stepfather was in the military, build that level of maturity of being a real man is to put about because he said when the man met his mom was mom was told him what the kind of son she had, he was cut through. He did not care. She set the law, she set the foundation, and he was being consistent about it.
It's
The word
funny you
kids,
said that, Paul, David. It's very funny you said that. So I'll make you feel a little bit like here. Here's your new theme song. Hey, you can't win with me. You know this, right?
I'll win one day, don't worry. I stay consistent about it.
Yeah, you're never gonna win. That's right. So I have a video I'm gonna play really fast because this is kind of goes a little bit what you're saying. It makes a lot of sense, but just listen to this guy for a minute before we move over the conversation. And I want you guys to give me your opinion.
99% of people have no future. So don't worry about it. Be positive, start to do it, and when people worry, open the door, see what are they worried about, and solve the problem. That's what I think. 99% of people.
Go ahead, David.
Now, I know who that individual is. And his logic is based on from his own personal experience coming from China. This is why You got to be careful when listening to certain people. I would like to listen to the whole video in context why he make that statement, but I know the kind of person he is. This is a man that came from a place whereby there wasn't too many opportunities given to people like him. He had to fix his mind in a way whereby, regardless of wherever he go to in life, he won't want to achieve that objective. That's a term we call in Africa being cutthroat.
That's
Because in
anywhere,
present,
David. It's not Africa.
not
It's American
no
term.
no,
It's
I
everywhere.
know it. I know it's America, but here where I don't apply America concept because in America there's a lot of places where you can try and survive and make it through, right? Which is norm. When
Mhm.
I move America out of the picture and I look at people from other countries, from other nations, I look at the environment they have and I compare it. Are they even playing ground or they're more of a disadvantage? In most places, those people are in a more disadvantage than people in the United States. And they are, when I say cutthroat, it's do or die. There is no safety. Talk about living in a country where there's no safety net. There's no government assistance. There's no government program. That is pure cutthroat. And a lot of people don't understand the psychological change that people have to make in their head in order to survive. But I saw that living in a country for 7 years. And I watched people who are, when I say cutthroat, I ask myself the same question. What if I go to another nation that's not African or an Asian? And you see the level of stress or you see their personality showing a level of determination regardless of their situation. Would I have gotten to that level where they are? Not when I told myself, no, I would have gotten there let I walk in the same shoe they were wearing. That's why I start to understand struggle from a different perspective than what I see here in the US. I live in both worlds, which allowed me to see things at an age whereby I had to step back and ask myself, what am I doing wrong? Why am I allowing situation to happen? Or what is blocking me? Or what did I see that I'm not doing right? When I listened to Comedy Store today, there was argument about people from different aspects of the world coming in here. And the moment they come here, they don't care. They'll take anything and everything. And they keep it moving. They never want to stop. That's the mindset for every immigrant. That is normal. The reason why that's normal for every immigrant, anyone coming in here, coming from a place whereby they didn't have the opportunity they have over there like they have here, they could care less of the situation. They have to remind myself I was that same person too when I was younger when I came back to this country. I was cutthroat. I wanted to take any kind of job, wherever I need and I wanted to be consistent. Then I realized that man's statement has a level of truth to it because in your mind you try to figure out what is the problem that is blocking you from getting to that level of success? What are you willing to do? What are you willing to take? What are you willing to sacrifice? And this is where we learn there's a price you have to pay for success. Either you like it or you don't. What are you willing to sacrifice? What are you willing to do to get there? Some people say they sell their soul to be successful. That'll be another conversation in itself. Some people willing to do things that most normal people in this country would never want to do, but they're willing to take that risk to get there. There should be a saying out here in New York City. You ever know a person that gone to let you realize they put had a full time job and but he's homeless for X amount of months, but you never see it. He never show you that. I used to be that person who was like that before in the past, in my younger days. Was homeless, have a full time job, able to pay bill, but still don't have a place of my own. And I met people who were doing the same exact thing, hiding their struggle, but never showed that work. So when I hear what he said that, first thing I say, what problem is he referring to? The problem that you're facing at that present time. Are we going to find a solution to fix it? There's always a solution, but some solution may not work. You either breaking your moral compass to do it. How far willing to go? How depth you willing to make that move to get Like, come on. We hear a story how people say they had to do whatever they can to be successful in Hollywood, or they're willing to sell themselves short or allow whatever happened to them just to get in. That was Hollywood, not to me, but imagine what today everyday people have to go through. So when I hear what he mentioned that there's little, I can't say little, there's a certain sense of truth to that, but it's not the full picture because there's some other content left out of that. The way you have a lot of these multi-million dollar business or multi-billion dollar business are being successful. The idea is based on that type of logic, and that's why I dropped the mic here for now.
Mariana?
Um, the way he say that not to worry. I mean, it's hard to, I'm trying to be positive and everything, but you have so many thoughts in your mind, worried. Like you want to make sure, the bills get paid. You may want to make sure you have enough money to buy whatever the case is. I mean, it's so many thoughts. Like, I mean, it's so. The only time I was worry free, I was a child, because you don't need to be worried. But now, as
I agree.
as an adult, like you worried about a lot. You worry, you make sure you have what you need, and you have a roof over your head. Like you have all these thoughts. It's so hard, and it's not like like if I say, I don't know what this guy, I don't know if he's a philosopher. This is the first time I see this video,
He's a
but
moron, in my opinion.
yeah, like
He's a
it's easy for.
multi-millionaire, almost billionaire, but he run like an Alibaba website and some other stuff he done behind
Okay,
the scenes.
okay, that
He's a
explains a
moron.
lot. So yeah, it's hard. Like we trying to, you're trying to push yourself, but you also, even from your personal life at home or at work, you always worried because you do so much. You end up doing so much, and you wondering, the only person you depend on, you depend yourself sometimes, and it's frustrating because everything takes the load on you. That's not that to me. Like if I was my own boss, I don't need to worry about anybody. But it's like everybody depend on me. It's very frustrating. So for him to say that, it's like, like I know that I have loved ones depend on me.
All right,
Whatever
Mariana, hang
they.
on 1 second. Let's get this guy in here.
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for our president. Mr. President, how are you doing tonight? You're muted, but
Can you guys hear me okay?
yeah,
Yeah.
nice and clear.
All right.
How you doing tonight, my man?
I'm okay. I'm good.
Let Mariana and Alicia finish up, and then I'll come to you, okay? Mariana, go ahead.
As I was saying, like I do have loved ones, my sister, my nephews, they all ask me, for help. No problem. They don't need to worry about that. But when it comes to something else, I always end up walking, and I always end up, worried because I know I had to do this to make sure I'm on top of it. So for him to say, "Oh, you don't need to worry," it's like it's hard. Like it takes time. I will say. I will not say it's not gonna be it's easier said than done, but it's a process. I will say, not to worry. Um, it's like I don't know, like it's more like on a mental note. I will say not to worry.
Mhm.
But to worried, I mean, I wish I was worry free. I would not be worried too much on a daily basis, but I am, and I can't help it because I do, I do struggle on a financial level, trying to get by. But for him to be a multi-billionaire, coming from what he says, that's easy for him to say. So
Alicia, you got anything on this before we get to Paul?
Um, One thing that I will just say that I've done for myself is not to worry about the future, as he said in the video, because a lot of times we don't know what the future is, and you never know from one day to another. So I
Mhm.
do really agree with that part because I do try to practice living in the present because I myself really would really stress about the future because ever since my diagnosis, I really try not to think about the future because I don't want to think about how long do you have to live or stuff like that. So I think it's so important to stay in the present because not just myself, but anybody doesn't know what tomorrow will bring. Not just me, but everybody in this life. You don't know what's in the future. You don't know what tomorrow will bring. So I stay with how he stresses you cannot worry about it because we don't know. So again, practicing to stay in the present. I know it's not easy to do, but it's something that I try myself to do. I try for myself to do and stay on that. And I try to in my line of work, um, I work with people that need help in all mental health areas. So one thing I do stress to them is also the same thing. Don't worry about the future. Stay in your present. Deal with what's at you in the moment. You can't worry about the next day, the week, the month, even though I know everybody has bills to pay and everything. So you do have to worry about it. But I'm also practice with them to stay in the present because without that, you would be worrying 24/7. So that's again why staying in the present is just so it helps you better than stressing about the future.
All right, Paul, did you pick up what's the title of the show today?
A little bit. I was just doing some this prior to, but
No, you're good. So the title of the show is. Oh, let me change my screen. Is Men Who Inspire Us, Stories That Motivate Us. What do you have on that?
I'll be honest with you. As time has gone on, I'm my own inspiration.
Okay.
You know, I mean, have there been people I've looked up to over the years, but people I've known personally, as well as like celebrities or whatnot. Have I had idols growing up? But look, obviously, Bruce Lee was a big motivator to me growing up. Certain athletes were inspirations to me growing up. People I know personally who've overcome certain things growing up. But honestly, I mean, the whole idea as far as motivation, that's a very short-lived state to be in. I mean, I think I'm at an age now where if someone has to motivate you to do anything, I think that's to me that's a sign of an issue more so than a story.
Mhm.
And what I've also found over time is that not to put too much stock in any one person. We're all human beings at the end of the day, because what happens is, and it's happened in my life, that people who may have inspired you or motivated you at some point or whatever, you're going to see their flaws at some point. And they can disappoint you in certain ways. But again, that disappointment comes because you put too much stock in them. Anybody can fall. Anybody can have a moment. I've seen great people because of their own actions or whatever. And sometimes success in and of itself is can be a recipe for failure, because again, you can get puffed up when the spotlight's on you and you have the stage and everybody is patting you on the back and you think you're the person, and you find out later on stuff that goes on, and then you realize that they weren't that much better than you. They might have made one or two decisions that changed the course of their life that put them in a certain position, but you're not that far off. And when you look at it overall, I think about, who would I trade my life with? And quite frankly, no one. because of the things that I did. So I came to a point in my life where, you know what, you made decisions that positively impacted your future. That, I mean, you might have heard and I used to be all into the motivation. I listened to motivational CDs every day, and back when we had cassettes, and you know, I would go to, you know, some conferences or whatnot, and they would be like these motivational speakers that would get up, not like a Tony Robbins, but kind of similar, like Tony Robbins type of stuff.
Mhm.
And yeah, I mean, it kind of lives for a weekend, and then you're gone, and then life gets back in way, and then it's like, well, what are you going to do on a regular basis? So I got to a point where I don't have to be motivated. I just do what is required to get the kind of outcomes that I want. And that's really where it is for me at this point. So, you know, like I said, as a younger person, I mean, if people are inspired by me, if I have the opportunity to talk to younger people, and if they're somewhat inspired by me or whatever, the inspiration is going to come not from what I have, but it's going to come from what I overcame. So for me, I guess the most inspiring stories are the ones where, again, people did have it hard. Did you come from an abusive home or an abandoned home, or what have you? Did you come from an abusive situation? How did you overcome those things to get to where you were? And the story is the same. They just made some decisions. And sometimes it's also maybe some luck involved, if you believe in luck, that they met somebody came into their life at that for a season or two that helped just simply change the direction that they're in. And that person, excuse me, may or may not be around anymore. You know. So I mean, people come into your life for a reason. Some people come into your life for a season, but then you move on. So, you know, I really, anybody I encounter, I try to learn something. If they have something that I can learn from and appreciate them. And I really like what Alicia said, where she talked about living in the present. That is becoming a lot easier for me as I've gotten older, because again, my past was almost like it was like a crutch for me for a while. And then I learned to get rid of that. But then how I got rid of the past, I was always thinking about the future. But even that got tedious after a while, because again, you don't know what future is going to hold for you. And how many goals are you going to set that you don't meet? And what kind of existence that is, where you're always failing all the time. So living in the present is actually pretty easy for me anyway. I know Alicia said it, you know, it can be difficult living in the present, but it's really kind of easy at this point, because I enjoy more of the present, while I can still look at my past and my past does shape a lot of my present. Because it's funny, I was reading some articles today. Someone said something to the, it was actually a coworker of mine. She said there were some pies that this lady, she was selling as a fundraiser for a kid at work, and they got some pies for Thanksgiving. And I love the pies. I thought they were great. And when I came in, and the lady was like, she was kind of making fun of a coworker, said, "Oh, well, one of them didn't think they were good at all." It's like, no, I'm sorry, I think they were great. I'm a foodie, and because I'm a foodie, you know, my standards are whatever. And I'm thinking that's the more I thought about it, I'm thinking that's kind of a kind of messed up place to be in, because your standards are so high. And I still remember just growing up, like my past is like right in front of me. You know what I mean? I grew up eating Spam and Chef Boyardee and bologna and rice and liver, and just things that, you know, fortunately I don't have to eat today if I don't want to, but I'm still appreciative it was there.
See, Steve Paul, me and Marianne can speak about this. When you're so used to eating a certain way, like chefs, You know, when I eat something, I try not to critique it as much as possible. I try to enjoy the meal, but sometimes it's kind of hard because me and her work on food. It's so hard not to critique it. Unfortunately, if that's what you love to do, or you've been around it so much.
Yeah, but I guess it's the air more so. I mean, I can get it to an extent, but it's like you go out to a nice what you think is a nice restaurant, because again, it's not like I'm doing fine dining every week or whatever. You go to a fine place and you have something, you think the food is awesome, because again, you don't eat it all the time. But a lot of times a foodie will come in and says, "Oh, I've had better." It's almost like they want to piss in your coffee, you know? I mean, great. I mean, because you live in a certain way, or you're used to these places or whatnot, fine. But what about the people around you? You don't have to be a
Oh, I never
sourpuss
said it was
to everyone
right.
else around you.
It's kind of fucked up. You really think about it.
Yeah, but people are like that, you know. And so I'm just glad that I have the opportunity. A lot of people, especially in my position, I probably live better than 90% of people. That's not bragging. That's not, you know, and I'm not even thinking I'm all that. But I'm just saying, just based on, you know, statistics, household income, right? Now, I've done things, I've experienced things that most people don't get a chance to do. But I still remember my past is right in front of me. I remember when I didn't have anything. I remember when I didn't have a place to lay my head. I remember sleeping out of motel rooms or bus stations or airports or whatever, because again, we were in transit somewhere, we didn't know where we were going. So that stuff always kind of stays with me. So it's like anytime I enjoy anything or have the opportunity of something, I'm grateful for that. And I say thank you for that. And I say thank God for that. So again, living in the present for me has become almost like a default option, and it's very easy to do. But if I plan too far into the future, yes, I know bills need to be paid and you need to start thinking about certain things. I think the last show I was talking about, my wife and I, we probably need to start looking at some burial plots. Not that I, want to think about that, but just like you don't want life insurance, you probably should look into things like that to cause less of a burden on your family when that time comes on you. But outside of things like that, I mean, that's going to be a present situation, right? I'm going to buy the plots and I'm not going to think about it anymore. You know what I mean? It's not like I'm worrying about when that day is going to come. No, I'm going to buy the plots and it's going to be done. So yeah. So as far as, like I said, motivation or inspiring people, it's just for a moment. What you do with it from there is what really matters.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're someone who has to live on that, or you need people to constantly just push you, no, I think as a fully functioning adult, I think you need to have some goals, some drive. What do you want your life to be? If your life isn't what you want, then what are you doing in a positive way to change your circumstances? And again, it took me a while to come to that mindset of, I started to inspire myself. Before 40 years old, I was looking for other people for inspiration. But when I had to come into my mid to late 40s, when I had to start taking care of my parents and looking around and seeing no one was going to be there to help me, and well, I shouldn't say that. I mean, there were certainly a few people I can think of off the top that really helped, in key positions to help me. So I'm not gonna disregard that. But certainly there was a lot I had to take on in a relatively short period of time to make sure stuff was done. Did I like it all? No, but I did it, and I was happy that I was able to do that. And then when I look back and see where other people are, the people who again I thought were, my heroes. And I just realized, they're just human beings, and just make, you just make decisions every day. So that's kind of where it is for me at this point. Very few people inspire me. If there's knowledge, if there's information, if there's something that I can use, again, I go back to Bruce Lee. Absorb what is useful, discard what is useless, and make what is essential your own. I think that's a great way to look at life and how to look at people. But you know, motivation though, I think that's you know, you have a whole industry built on motivation. Like I said, the Tony Robbins of the world and whatnot. And 99% of people who go to his seminars or buy his books or whatever he's selling aren't going to do a whole lot with it. At least not if you talk about getting to kind of where he is. But are there some things that you can do to make your life or at least your perspective better? So so I think there's some perspective there that could be gleaned, but don't put so much into it that I'm not motivated to do X and Y. Well, you know, all you gotta do is just look around you. If you got a family, that's all the motivation you need.
All right, let's play the next video. I'm gonna go off that. All right. I think you may like the next one, Paul.
I was 26 years old, man. I was struggling. I didn't have nothing. And these people owned the furniture store in Cleveland. And they took me in and gave me my first contract with my little carpet cleaning company. When I became a comedian at 27, I didn't have money to travel. They gave me an account at their travel agency. And man, I ran up a bill like $11,000 just trying to travel and make it. Man, they helped me out. Hey man, I got money now, Rich. Been looking for you for years, man. I was
That story always gets to me because he was on his down with nothing, and these people helped him. Sometimes the motivation is right in front of you. You don't even realize it. Between us, to friends, family, the dog, whatever. And look how he became one of the most popular comedians, actors, showman, whatever you want to call him. Mariana, you go first.
You know, for him to be down on like his last, like almost like he feel like he was about to give up, but he didn't want to give up because he was trying to pursue this, and somebody will, you know, willing to help him, whatever his dreams was, and he able to, because it takes a long journey to get through that. And you always have to believe that this person's gonna go for it. I mean, even though he was like down on his, it reminded me also this movie, Pursuit of Happiness, of Will Smith. Very similar situation. Like he was trying to pursue to be a stock trader, and his wife at the time didn't didn't understand, well, what is the need of it, you know? And he's going for internship and, you know, all this. And he was selling this big device, whatever that was. I'm trying to remember what it was. I know it doesn't exist anymore, but similar situation when you feel like somebody has to believe in you in order to proceed. Whatever is, you know, whatever you want to do, somebody had to have faith in you. And you also have to faith in yourself. You have to believe in yourself so that you're willing to go for it. So, you know, it's good that you keep going and persevere. Do not give up. Whatever your goal, you know, whatever you want to do. If you want to be an entertainer, do you want to be a stockbroker? You want to be a doctor? Whatever the case is, just keep going. Do not give up. Do not give in. And do not let somebody talk down on you. And then, of course, it was a struggle for him to go through that. Just keep going. Just keep going. Don't give up. You know, it's inspiring to see that from a celebrity point of view and also from a regular person's point of view. So, you know, it just, you know, do not give up. That's basically, you know, just if you have something, go for it. And whatever you have, something something is hidden, keep going. Keep going. And that, that's that.
Mariana, I agree 100% what you're saying. Everything you're saying, because if you give up,
Yeah.
why give up? I don't believe in
Yeah.
giving up. You know how I am.
No. Yeah.
Like, and Paul agrees with what I'm gonna say. Like, if you tell me not to do something, I'm gonna probably do it. If you tell me you can't do X, Y, and Z, whatever the case is, I'm gonna prove you fucking wrong. And I know Paul has mentioned this on the channel multiple times. When people say I can't do something, what did I do, Paul?
Yeah.
He's not gonna bother.
Oh, there's one thing that you know what you need to do though. Just saying.
Which part? There's a couple of things I'm working on right now.
Okay. Well, you know.
The body part, yeah, I'm working on that part. Is that what you're talking about?
It.
Yeah, I'm working on
Oh,
that too.
Yeah.
Hey, I never said I was perfect. I said I'm working on myself.
Okay. But you just said, but see, you just said anything I put my mind to or whatever, it gets done. So this needs to get done.
I will get done.
Okay.
You want to prove you wrong?
How many people have you said that to?
Oh, I trust me. I will prove it wrong. Don't worry. I'll prove
No,
everything.
not me. But I'm new on the scene, but I'm sure you've tried to say the same thing to Mariana. You probably said the same thing to Alicia's at one point.
I haven't actually.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
Dave, you're
Well,
up.
look. Well, but see, my thing is, but again, that's what I'm saying. Motivation is only get you so far. You got to do it for you, man. You can't do it because you need to prove if whatever it is that you're going to do. If it's just to prove us wrong,
But that works for me, Paul. It doesn't mean it works for you. If it works for me, that's great. If it doesn't work for you, that's okay too. Everybody has their own different ways of doing things in life.
okay. So what's the plan here? What's the
Me and smoking, you mean?
Yeah. You just put it out there. So what are we talking about?
Next time I see you, I'll be smoking free. You know that's gonna be soon. You know that, right? It's not gonna be like I see you every few
So I
months.
get 2 days. So I get 2 days smoke free, or
No, you don't even smoke in your house, dude. I didn't even smoke at your house when I was there. Remember that?
you were trying to. You stepped. I think you stepped out. Did you step outside? Did you step outside? I thought you stepped outside.
No, I did not.
Okay. All right.
Because I know
No, I
you
mean,
don't like that.
again, as a lifestyle, smoking out of your life, in your house, my house, outhouse, doesn't matter. Get rid of it. It does you absolutely
I'm
no
gonna prove
good.
you wrong.
And again, 40, you're in the 40 club now. So I'm just telling you, the body, you think everything's good. 40, you're gonna feel good a lot, but 40 things start changing, man. So I'm telling you, this is about you. This is not about trying to impress anybody else. 40 years old. If you're smoking regularly, that's something you need to get rid of.
Okay, 3 months from now. That's my time limit. Fair enough.
I'll wait and see. I
All
won't
right.
I won't say anything about it. I won't say, hey Pete, how you doing with your goal or whatever. It's just it's either gonna happen or it's not. But the thing is,
But when
again,
I do beat that goal, I want you to give me bragging rights.
what bragging rights? I mean, so what? If I get what now? Do you go back to smoking after 3 months?
No,
Well,
no.
so this is 3 months from now. You're saying on a live air on a broadcast forever, ever.
Yeah.
Never
I will
have
not
another
touch
cigarette
another
again. So
cigarette
again, Mariana, you're hearing this, right?
Yes, I'm hearing this.
Okay. All right. Alicia, you're hearing this, right? First of all, how
No.
you doing? I haven't seen you for a minute. How you doing?
I'm doing much better. Yes.
You look
thank
great too. You look great
Thank
too.
you.
So, all right, David, you hearing this, right? All right. So you just so again, snared by the words of your mouth. Right.
Mhm.
So again, this is so again, we'll revisit this in the future. I won't say another word about it, but I will take note. 3
All right.
months from now, so by March of 2026, we'll see where you're at.
You better put a note on it because I know how you forget your age.
So really, that's what this is for.
We'll remember. We'll remember.
David, you're up. Marianne, did you go yet or no? I'm sorry.
No, I did.
Yeah,
I
she
did.
went first.
Yeah, David, you go up. I mean, I see he's old age is rubbing off me now.
Look, Let me just be real here. I'm not a fan of Steve Harvey, and over the year, there have been a lot of inconsistency with his story. So I get that part of the story he broke out, but knowing who the individual is on a much deeper level, and know that his own peer have called him out on some of his lies or discrepancy. I will say this: there have been celebrities who have been down out, but I'm aware of, who have been genuine and consistent with their story to the point where they gave back to those individuals who looked out for them, and they did much more than just that as well. There's a small number of celebrities who have been consistent, who is not part of the Howard elite group, but they never forget where they came from.
Hmm.
There have been that type of individual that people, a lot of people can say they are stand-up people, without trying to go behind the scene and pay them off to act a part. But the consistency when people say, yeah, this person is legit, this person is legit, this person what it is, you can tell this person is a genuine person. That being said, I understand Mr. Ben wants to talk about if you need someone to motivate you, which is totally different. I mentioned it's not motivation, it's someone that give me a level of clarity or standard bar. Like, you have people who like a standard because they live their life to a level of consistency. They're not trying to follow what they call society. This is why I don't believe in society too much. Knowing that as time progresses, society keep on changing their more comfort like they change their underwears. They have never been consistent. What today's society standard today wasn't the same 10 years ago, wasn't the same 20 years ago, and further, you have to go on. The story he was using, I'm not sure it's that same exact story, but the story that he used, that it turned to find out it belonged to a fellow comedian who called him out for using that same storyline, trying to switch it, make it his own, knowing that it belonged to the original story. It's a man who real life experience that people have spoke about. There are people who made it a mission, regardless of how much money they make, to give back more to those who they can help. Keanu Reeves is a perfect example.
Hmm.
That man suffered something so severe that his mindset has switched to a level whereby people were wondering why the way he act as he act, why he moved the way he moved. But he makes so much but give away in silence. He don't like to broadcast because he understands what life is. He has experienced a particular stage in life whereby he get it, he understand it. So whatever he do when he can. There are very select few who do the same exact things that based on their life experience, that face a crossroad life that made them to, you know what? As long as I live, I'm going to continue to do this as much as I can. I'll continue to impact others who never had a chance that I have and pass it forward. I remember somebody told me that if I want to repay that person back, don't repay them back. Repay me by doing to another person who need help.
That's good.
That's something I take very, very serious because I realize there's always going to be a time somebody who will come out and step out of the way to help you, and that will hit you. But when you want to repay that person tell you, say, don't repay me back. Do for another person as I did for you. And he's setting a fundamental foundation that it only builds solid individual throughout the test of time. Because like I said, I look at Mr. Bennett, he the present ongoing example of people who have been through. And I've been in his shoe at one point at time where I was homeless. I was sleeping in the park. I was sleeping in the subway. I was trying to figure out where I'm going to find my next place to sleep. I will go to the gym, take a shower. I will have my change of clothes in my gym bag. If I have a little change here and there, you watch all my change of clothes and keep it in my gym and put it in my locker. And at the time when I was in my college days, I was doing that at one point. And I met people out here in New York City who were doing the same. There were the time people were living a secret life. They were hustling. They were doing what they can do to make it through. You didn't have to joke, live like a Jamaican man, work 2 jobs, you go to school. There were people who will do weird job and go to places to take a quick nap. At the time back then, they allow people who were killing themselves to take a nap at the back of the diner back in the days in Manhattan. Those days are long gone. There were days in some community college, the almost 24-hour library, they let certain people take a nap at a certain corner because they understand the struggle they're going to put themselves through to make ends meet. Those days are gone. So Paul Bennett would tell you that New Jersey, New York, Connecticut, tri-state area, they're the people who they had to do whatever it can to live another day just so they could accomplish something. In present time, would that happen now? I can't say because you got to be super careful because some people are not crack up. They're not who they claim to be. We're in a time whereby you have 1.1 million jobs being lost on. Some people trying to find all type of odd jobs to survive. There are people who have relatives who are wealthy, but you don't even try and beg them for anything or bug them. Just ask for a help or something, and they act like they can't even help you. Scary, isn't it? Right? But they know who you are. They know you are a grinder. You barely ask anybody for help. But you get to a situation in life and just ask for a simple favor. Just lead me to the right direction. Oh no, no, no. Why don't you try this? It's like they're pushing you off. But if you ever become highly super successful, they'll be the same individual be at your back. But yet they wasn't there when you needed them. That's why I said there are people on what I think if I don't want to sound too biblical, they're on that narrow path. They're on that crossroad where not too many people are tread on. Because it's easy, I'm not gonna lie to you, it's easy to take a path that you know morally speaking and constantly speaking is not the right path to take. But because you are desperate or you need to get something done, you don't care what stigmatization will come upon you, but you gotta get it done. Some people will say their principle will not let them do it, knowing that there could be a way out, but knowing that there's a price you have to pay for that particular road. But you're still not going to do it because you know what it will lead to. But you don't care, but you want to do things the right way. I'll be honest with you. Going straight and narrow, it's never easy for nobody. I'll just tell you that right now. It's never easy. This society is designed for make people sell themselves to get a quick relief. The way I mentioned earlier in the show, there's certain dynamic that make people do what they do, depending on where they're coming from. So I would say there's very few people that you say, I won't say let them motivate you. I would say let their life be a measuring stick or a measuring stand of how they position themselves where they be. It's always good to ask questions. What are the principles they use to keep themselves in check in case they find out something about to slip? What are the mechanisms they do to keep themselves consistent so that each and every day it don't feel like it's overbearing? I used to have a model I have it for so many years, for more than 2 decades, one day at a time. I can only do what I can for today. Let tomorrow work for itself. I had to tell myself that each and every sometime I get to a place I can't even tell myself no more because the weight of the world it become heavy to the point that you isolate yourself and you trying to figure things out because you don't have no lifeline. Imagine what people had to go through when there's no lifeline, there's no way you can go and talk to at least to get a breather. Or you feel like you don't want to take the risk to ask for a favor because you know you ask for a favor, it comes with something that could be highly annoying and it will stress you out even more. So imagine what people had to put themselves at. I'm not gonna lie. If somebody offered me a job working a farm and it's a decent pay, and I wake up early in the morning, guess what? I've done that thing work before in Nigeria. I had to wake up 5 o'clock in the morning, wash 3 cars before I go to school. How many people will say that in the United States?
There are a few people who do that, David, up here in the United States.
No, wash 3 cars, meaning you watch your mother car, you watch your father car, you watch your uncle car early in the morning before you get to go in, take a shot, get up ready, and go to school. That was a thing for me. And we wear uniform. So I had to get up super early in the morning to get their vehicle ready. It's not that you take your car to the car wash. So don't do that. No. This is every day, every morning. I spoke to people from different culture ethnic groups that say something are worse than that. And it put upon the based on the people or the family they live under. So I get it and I understand what life is. 'Cause I walked that shit before. We're in a country that you can take the car to a driving car and it's very easy. That wasn't in the other side on the planet. Some people are meant to do certain crazy things before they venture out to what they need to do for themselves. Is what I said. Some life discipline will teach you a level of efficiency and effectiveness whereby you're not allowed to give yourself no excuse anymore. Or you put yourself on a level of a standard. Sometimes you're being unfair to yourself, even though you did enough, but your standard is not enough. That is what it is. And I spoke to a lot of people with different ethnic groups. Sometimes I ask them, why would you do that to yourself? They say the same thing I ask too. Why you put that standard on yourself? I'm like, you know what? You got a point. Because some people came from a life whereby they never want to go back there. I hear him to Bennington. At the time he was homeless. He used to sleep on bus stops. Now he can. It's not like he bragged, but he came from somewhere, and he remember where he came from. There are things that people put in their mind to make sure there's no room for slacking off. There's no room for quitting. I had programmed myself to a high level degree. There's no room for me to think of deleting myself. It's not going to be allowed. I could care how much pressure I put myself to. I'm not allowed to think that if the thought were to come slightly close, it's a no-no. Even though the pressure on me is too high, I gotta figure it out one way or the other. I've been to a psych ward where I see men who have put themselves to the extreme and they say they could not stop themselves from breaking themselves mentally because the level of responsibility is riding on their shoulders. So there are heroes who cross that road that men don't want to take because they know what it will do to them. Some made it through, some don't. Some carry battle scars, either physical or mental. And when they teach the younger generation, they let you know, set a standard for yourself so that no matter what amount of peer pressure you go through, it doesn't pull you off the path where you're plotting for yourself. And that is facts. So when I see stuff on my feet where I hear someone who had to walk, I don't know, 5 miles a day, they could go to work, and his boss and the team member decided to buy him a car, that's because they saw something. He deserved that. But that came from consistency. There's a lot of unsung heroes in this country today who choose to take the narrow path. They didn't choose to take the easy path. And their story is not being told like it should be told. So I'm speaking based on people who I have interacted with all my past jobs. I've sat down, allowed myself to be open ear and let them speak, tell me their struggle, their pain, their victory when they were down, who helped them out, who gave them that word of motivation, not motivate, the word that not inspire, but ignite that fire back to push them going forward, knowing that they're close of reaching that goal. There are people out there every day doing the unthinkable just to make sure their family can eat, regardless if they don't eat much, because they know what it takes for them to make it happen. That's why I say Mr. Bennett is an example, Coach First is an example. Their life experience speak a lot of volume. When I tell you what they've been through, I can relate to that to a degree. If by God willing, I'd able to start a new job next week, the first thing I would thank God for that. I think, you know what? Thank God for everything. Thank God for the blessing. I'm not gonna take it for granted. And I have a tendency of making sure I stick to the straight and out and stick to the protocol. Or I can do it as ask God, please protect my job. Please, I can accomplish the next one accomplish. If I got a list put before me, so I can get this, I can get this done. If I can get to this place, I can get that done. I cannot stop. And yes, will I take a vacation? I don't see that happening no time soon. I'm gonna hit my new goal, 30 years no vacation and counting. Look, I have set goal before myself to accomplish regardless. It sounds like madness, but that's what I have programmed myself to be after seeing what life really is outside the comfort that we have here. I spoke to people who got worse than I did. They don't believe in vacations. And I thought I was the crazy one. So imagine that. There are people out there that do what I do, or worse, because whatever load they're carrying is giving them strength to go further. All I can do is bow down and respect them. Like, you know what? I gotta get my hat off to you because you're doing something bigger than I do. Yo, Jordan Mike, how you doing? Nothing young, but I'm proud to see he's doing a lot of great things. Know the guy for many years. And what I keep saying, keep doing it. Be that role model. I want to be that example for your generation so they can say, you know what? This guy did it. He took that path. It wasn't easy, but he's consistent about it. Whenever I see John Mike, I always got to give him his flowers. Because he's doing things that he put a lot of work, a lot of effort to get it done. I'm one person, if I see you have done something while you're alive, I will give you your flowers. We'll talk. Because I see what you got to put yourself through to get there. It's not easy. I think this should be a thing that all men, women should do. When you see someone do something and they accomplish something that most people willing to quit, but they say, no, I'm not going to quit. I want to keep pushing. When you have the chance, get them no flowers. Get them the salute. Give them that manly bow. So that's what's up. That is what it is. And I've been this way for more than 2 decades. I don't believe in disrespecting real men who stand on principles, who stand on their belief that keep them consistent. Because sometimes they don't get the chance to turn to say, yo, I like what you're doing. Keep it up. I see janitors who have worked the same job for 30 years to provide their households. That's the real man. But here we just sent a lot of people in the family to college through what he was doing. That's a huge accomplishment. When you have people on these dumbass panels about high value money. No, I see that gentleman working 30 years in that same job in that same corporate, but a high value man. He's doing way more than your dumbass is looking for. If he can send a bunch of people to college, what he's doing for X amount of years consistently, that's a real man right there. By the time he retired, he don't have to work no more. And he got how many kids taking care of him? That is facts.
All right, let's Paul go next.
Well, as far as Steve Harvey, I'm not sure about, because I think I've heard before about him possibly making up that story. I don't know, and I don't know if anybody really is going to know if that's true or not. But the one thing I would say is this: I wouldn't necessarily look at however he got there, because again, we've interviewed comedians or people who are looking to aspire to do well in that space. Not a lot of them are going to get to where he is. And the reality too is that, certainly he inspired himself. I think more so than anything. I mean, I think, I don't know if he had anybody motivating him to do. From what I understand, he was just tired of just being where he was. And he started to put some things in motion. And as he did that, people came into his life to help him out at the right time, whether giving him a travel budget or a travel account or a job or whatever it was. And I do think that's part of the process also. I think if you are, doing what you need to do, I just think opportunities just open up for you if you're willing to put the work in. And if he was willing to put the work in and things open up for him like that, then all the better. But that's not to say that, okay, I'm going to be Steve Harvey. Because we know we've interviewed people who do this for a living. And again, there's levels to that. Shout out to Dwayne White, the things he's doing. But he's helping a lot of guys who came on after him, to get them to where they're at. So there's levels to this. I think also what's important is that you don't be so satisfied or don't get so caught up in the result, but it's like, what are you becoming in the process? So again, where a guy like Dwayne White is at this point in his career, is he head casting Madison Square Garden? No, but he's still the envy of a lot of guys who love to be where he is, and he's having fun at where he is. That shout out to him also. He survived an car accident. So again, I think you have to, in large part, don't think about what's going on to the left or the right of you, or who's doing this to the left or right of you. It's putting some actions into play, and you becoming a better person because you applied yourself. And then again, especially if those opportunities happen your way because you're in the path, you're in the process, and people can see that you're serious about what you're doing, then oftentimes you do have those opportunities that come to you. People want to bless you in certain ways. But he didn't need to be motivated. He didn't need someone motivating him. It seemed like he already had the motivation. It's just a matter of, an opportunity presenting himself. But I'm sure a lot of people would like to be in his position. And even if they were in his position, if you take some of these people who we're talking about and put them in the same position, would they be there where he's at? You don't know. So again, I think fall in love with the process of becoming better. That making the idea of getting better, make that the goal, that is your motivation. And as long as you can do that, then I think you're successful. But don't think that, okay, well, because Steve Harvey, if you bought his story 100%, let's say if that happened, that doesn't mean it's going to happen for you. So, but again, I think take some of what you can apply to your current situation. Be willing to take any job. Talked about this a couple weeks ago. A lot of people can work but won't because they think the job that they're working at is beneath them. Not looking at the job itself as a temporary situation, or if you do well in that job, what other opportunities? Who would see you? Who where can it go from there? But you're just thinking about, oh, but this is beneath me. But guys will take on stuff that a lot of people won't. But then people talk about, well, I never had an opportunity, I never had a chance. So again, I think you have to have that kind of internal drive. And I do believe that people come into your life at the right time when you apply yourself. It's that quote people say, it's like, when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. But are you ready to receive, certain things? Are you going to put yourself in a position to succeed? And a lot of people don't put themselves in a position because they don't apply themselves. So again, that's got to come from you. I can't do it. I know so many people I'd be willing to help in so many ways, give them anything that I had to give. But again, they're not consistent. They're not reliable. They say, look, I'll be there, show up at this time. They don't show up. And you're just wasting your time on people who, at the end of the day, as much as they say they want to change your lives, either they can't overcome their insecurities or their addictions or their, just their depression or whatever it is to do better. So again, motivation is an inside job. That's all I got.
I would go off with, I would go off of what everyone basically is saying. I've heard that story from Steve Harvey a couple times, and I've watched things about him, and I believe that he, as Paul said, he is his own motivator. Without him motivating himself at that job, he would never have come to where he is now. But I believe that he himself inspired himself to do that, because if he passed that up, or if anybody else was in that position and they passed up that opportunity, then they might not be where they might not, like Steve, if he passed that up and didn't have the motivation that he had, he wouldn't be where he's at now. Again, it has to do with his own motivation, his own inspiration, because a lot of people, I do believe, do not have that inspiration or motivation, and that's why they are stuck where they are in life. He always has said how he wanted more for himself, so that's what got him to where he's at. Even as he took on more stuff going on in his life, again, he pushed himself. He was the one motivating himself. And a lot of people, if they don't have someone motivating themselves, like I know personally, then they just sit there. But you can motivate yourself and have inspiration from yourself or from others to get to the top. And that's how I believe that he got there. He didn't quit. He never wanted to quit. And he just kept telling himself, he's got to get up and go. He's got to get up and go to get to where he wanted to go. Other people might have stopped at the beginning, might have stopped in the middle. And that's why they aren't where they want to be, because they chose to stop. And it goes along with, again, either you get motivated by someone or something in your life if you want to go further, or you look at your own self and choose inspiration through your own self to keep going. I know personally, especially with my struggle the past 2 years, I know I have to pick up myself up every day. I have to tell myself to keep going every day. Even though I have people around me telling me the same thing, I myself have to say it and do it. And I believe that's how Steve got where he is, by telling himself and giving himself information and inspiration and motivation to where he's at now.
So I know David says it's a fake story, true story. I don't really give a shit. Either way, I care about the message of the story. Personally, that story uplifts me. Meaning, if he was able to do nothing from nothing to everything, anything's possible. So I know I don't mean you didn't disagree last show about what we talked about breaking the cycle, and you were saying if you have no, you have to worry about what if you lose everything. Sometimes you don't have anything to lose. What else you got to lose? At that point, in his life, he had nothing to lose, so he threw all his cards in there. Just fuck it. I'm already down in my luck. So, what's the worst case scenario that's gonna happen? Be more in debt. And he pushed forward. Sometimes you got to push forward no matter what. I know it's hard. We always see the flaws in ourselves, gray hairs, bad beard, bald head, no offense, Paul, whatever. Those are flaws that people need to love you with. But you can twist that and use that as your motivation too. Do you guys disagree or agree?
I agree.
Marianne, you okay over there? You look like you're falling asleep.
Yeah. Sorry. I'm trying to stay up. I can't.
If you need a jump, just dip. If you're good, if you want to say your final thoughts now and get out of here, it's fine.
Are you sure? I
Mariana.
don't. Final thoughts. You want me to say?
Yeah, if you got something final to say before, and we continue the show. Go ahead. Before you go, you have last words.
I'm trying to think. I'm sorry. God, that's what happens when I'm so out of it. Just I had a long day. Final thoughts. I mean, it's a good topic to feel what motivates you. You have to motivate yourself. You have to push yourself whatever you want to do. Not somebody. If somebody tells you and they say, "Oh, I'm proud of you," then that motivates you. It could be a loved one. It could be a friend. If somebody say to you, I am proud of you that you come this far, that motivates me. If I had, if somebody like my sister or my nephews tell me I'm proud of you, that keep me going, no matter what it is. If they see me that I accomplished whatever the case is, I'm proud of you. And it sometimes is better off in a personal point of mine, especially the ones don't like to see you succeed. It's better off keep it quiet till you get able to accomplish, because some people don't like to see you accomplish, and you'll see some people have like these snares, and that's why it's better off, keep it going, keep it humble, keep your mouth quiet and keep it going. That motivates me. And it just, you can't. And I will say it's thank God for my parents to give me all these talks, these, tell me word of advice from growing up. Because I really appreciate that. Because sometimes it's also, something that you need to know growing up from, to know what's the difference between right and wrong, and also to have some conscience. But other than that, it's a good thing that, my father tells me a lot of things growing up about, what to look out for, also be careful, in likewise. because I know my father was overprotective, but it's for for the sake of his own, I was the eldest daughter, so that's that. I mean, I will say, just have to motivate for yourself.
All right, Martin, thank you for coming up. We'll let you
Thank you.
go to bed because you're falling asleep on us.
I'm sorry.
That's fine. I'll see you later.
Alrighty.
All right. So, you know what? Let's wrap it up a little early tonight, I think. How you guys
Mhm.
cool with that?
Yes.
David, you want to get into your final thoughts and we'll get going out of here?
Final thoughts. Interesting. How would I put this? Final thought. For all the men out there, I would say find somebody who is consistent, who's about principles, who got a code of conduct that keep him in line, regardless on how he feel or how he think. That's something I learned in Nigeria. Because you have certain people who will bend over backward, will sell themselves short, or how you say, sell their soul just to success. But don't realize that the price they have to pay at the end of the road. I won't follow those such people. I'll follow those who have been consistent. Even though the society say that he's crazy, but he's not because he's trying to build. It's only going to pass down a multi generational legacy behind for those who follow after him. I've seen these things, I've learned these things. I speak to people, I've interacted with people. Before the YouTube came to play, it's the thing that you sit down, you have a conversation, and you allow yourself to listen and learn from other people's experience in life. That's something I've been doing since the age of 15, 16, since youth. I like to listen to the elders who have been there decade ahead of me and understand how they made it through life. What are the up and down they have faced in life? Take mental note and trying to apply it to myself. Trying to build a list of principles that I can apply to myself as well. Because when you find people like that who are consistent, they will pass down the wisdom to you. This is why I would tell all the young generation, be careful who you surround yourself, be careful who you look up to, be careful who you listen to. 'Cause you gotta be very careful. There's some people who pretend they got all the answer, but their life is actually a complete joke. While they're scamming everybody out there just to make their life lavish, but at the same time they don't realize that the repercussion behind that. I'll be clear with you guys. I'm not the jack of all trades, but I will do what I can to survive. I will do what I can to get things done. I will do what I can to make sure I can live another day. I'll do what I can provide for my young generation who am responsible for. And I will keep on pushing. That's how life's supposed to be. Other than that, this has been a great topic, an interesting topic. Um, I think this should be a series that you talk about people who created a generation of solid men who are principled. That's why I always say to people, what group of men are you referring to? You have people come on these social media talk about painting men with a broad brush, but they talk about the anecdotal experience, but they don't realize they have not been around or traveled the world or been around environment where you find men who are built with the saying called diamond in the rough. They were like coal at first, but through so much pressures, they end up becoming like diamond. I know some of the examples like Steve I would never trust him to come out of that man now, not ever. He have been called out for a lot of things, and those who know him very well have said what he have done to certain people, which is very disrespectful. So I'm sorry, I can never respect that dude, not in a million years. But other than that, there are other people I can listen to who have been consistent about what they stand about, what they stand for, and what they will continue to do. So those are the people I would rather listen to instead. And that's just my final thought.
Yeah. As I said earlier, I think, certainly people can give you some inspiration, but again, the inspiration is going to be short lived. Again, I think in a lot of ways, you almost have to be self motivated for any kind of exterior motivation to really take place. So, yeah, like I said, it has to start within you. And if it does, then again, people tend to find you. The right speaker, the person who says the right thing, someone who puts something in your pocket, or gives you an opportunity. Those things happen, but if it's not coming from you, it's not going to be of any benefit. And like I said, you can have all the tapes, CDs, or MP3s, or podcasts, and you can get all that motivation that you want. But what are you going to do? And I see a lot of people, unfortunately, they just develop a habit where they just listen to hours of motivational materials. I've seen it. And nothing really happens in their lives that is positive, something that they can really take control of, because a lot of things you can't control. Like a lot of people, I think, here's one thing I definitely learned, that a lot of people, they're trying to get their motivation, they're trying to get to where someone else is, rather than accepting, like, this is the pool, this is the lane that I'm swimming in. Let's see what I can do with where I'm at. But your gaze is elsewhere, looking at what someone else has. Well, what if you put that time into making your situation better? I think that's really where motivation can really help you in that situation. But trying to just constantly just feed your mind with this, it's like it's like you have a car full of gas, but you don't know where you're going. And that's sometimes that's the issue that I find with that industry, or people who spend so much time there. And I've heard some of the greatest speeches in the world, but only a few are going to act on it, and you're not going to change the numbers that come from that. But yeah, I mean, certainly you're always going to have that 1 or 2%, or top 5%, who are going to outperform everybody, and everybody else is pretty much going to be struggling. But again, sometimes I think it's because you don't accept the fact that where you're at might be fine. Like if all you are a housewife, is that a bad thing? Raising the next generation, can you be better at that? But again, everyone's trying to get away from where they're at, versus looking at the opportunities that might be right in front of them, right where they're at. So yeah, it's that's all I got.
Oops. I think that this topic was very good, as everybody in life needs motivation. Um, and again, you can get it from yourself, you can get it from others, but the real thing is that even if other people are motivating you or trying to get you motivated, it's up to you to get up and move forward. As I was saying before, one of the people that motivates me the most is my father. But again, he can do all he wants to do. He could come in and yell at me every day to get up, get moving, and it's up to me to listen to that. Even though he motivates me to want to get up, it's all on me whether or not I get up or not. And I have to choose and pick my own values as to why I'm getting up and getting motivated. Um, and everybody else, you needs to find something in their life to motivate them, to inspire them. Because again, you can stay at the bottom, or you can do what you need to do and get up and have a better life for yourself. So I think that that's very important for all to find your motivation in life. Have a goal, figure out what you want, and figure out where you want to go from here. It's so important. And again, unless you want to stay at the bottom, you're going to have to find out what is most important to you. what do you find is something that would keep you going or have you go to the top? Again, these talks are, you could get it from somebody, you could get it from yourself, family members, celebrities, whoever we talked about, but it all comes down to you. So you have to really be the one to motivate yourself.
Thank you for everybody who came up tonight. Your opinions and everything. Yes, I think you should motivate yourself, number one. But I also think you need some external motivation at the same time. I think they both go hand to hand. But let's go a quick schedule update and let's get out of here. Where are we? So tomorrow, Sean is going on Living for Us. So we will be tuning in tomorrow at 9:30 for his show and find out. And a special edition on Thursday because I'm going to be joining the show. We're going to be talking about Lesson from a Dojo. Pretty much, Paul is going to kind of interview me, actually, in a way, as a karate teacher, a karate owner, a dojo owner, all that back of the scene stuff that you guys don't see when you go to karate schools. What it takes to run a school, what it does to your mental health, how much time and effort it is to run a school. It's a lot behind these scenes people don't realize. And David, very briefly, because I don't cut your mic off if you go too long. You want to go over your show for Friday?
I'll wait. I'll let that day come.
What is it about? That's what I'm asking you. You want to go over that part, Lise?
Right now I can't see in front of my screen. It's got coming.
So it's ranking the top anime creators. Wally and David will be going over that. It's self-explanatory, I believe, you guys. So they're going to be going over that. And on Saturday, this is a show that I've been looking for a while. We got a head on. Fox Kids versus WB Kids. The two biggest icons from the 70s, 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s, and early 2000s. Mano on mano. Who has the biggest cojones to win that fight? Let's find out on Saturday. And on Sunday on Greer, we got to have open show mic. You fuckers who talk so much shit. So I'm going to bring this button out. Let's have a little fight. Let's have an argument. You guys talk shit. Come on. Bring it. My gloves are off. I feel better. So I'm going to bring the shit talking to you guys. If you guys talk shit in the keyboard, it's time for you to talk shit to my face now. Right, Paul? He has nothing to say on that one. He doesn't want to get himself in trouble. So accept that, guys. That'll be it for now. Oh, yeah. And next week, we're coming back to, where is it? Oh. I don't have a show for next week. That's odd. All right. I'll post one up. No big deal. I see what happened. I got screwed up some of these. Oh, that's weird. Okay, I apologize, guys. Next week is not WB. I got it mixed up. I'm sorry. I was reading the wrong thing. Next week, can Star Wars come back from the dead? Yeah, I might ask Kelly come back on this one. That's going to be an interesting conversation. You're actually talking about, I was reading the wrong line. I'm sorry, David. Who has the best power system in the anime? That's what you guys talking about. I apologize. Guys, my bad on that. And fuck me. We're going to be going over end of the year, dated in 2025. Why is it so hard? I think I don't feel good again. Except that. David, any last words? King Hunganga? Mr. President? Nope. Alicia, any last thing before we go?
I'm good.
All right, guys. As always, this was the Spartan SU Network. I am the Spartan. He is Baby Groot, Mr. President, our penny ass Alicia. As always, stay fresh, stay safe, and I'll see you guys on the next one.